remember this one guy. I was like, all right, I had just had the list of what the people are going to do. I was like, David's going to come up and play the trumpet. And he goes, you guys ready for my trumpet? And then he just starts going, burp, 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 burp.
Oh, yes. 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 Oh, that's the best.
Air trumpet, bro.
Oh.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
All right, guys, welcome back. Oops, the podcast. Giulio Gallerati here, joined by, as ever, Ryan Lynch.
Hello.
Who's in the gym getting jacked.
Happy
getting it
Tuesday.
done. We have a very special guest today, funny comedian who I've known for a very long time. Check out his special right now on YouTube, Wild, Happy, and Free. The soft pack Sig master himself. Give it up for Ian Fidance, everybody.
Yeah.
Did I say your name wrong?
It's Fidance, but you
Fidance.
can say Fidance.
Sorry.
Whatever.
I've been
as long as I come into your home and you greet me with this nice Aryan boy, you can call me whatever you want. I mean, goodness gracious.
That's not the
Ryan.
first time that's been said.
There's just a nice house boy here.
I psyched myself out as I was saying your name. I know how to say. I know your name is Fidance. I don't know why. I got nervous for
it's
some
all
reason.
right. People say Fidance, and then so many times it makes me go, "Am I saying it wrong?" You know. And then like, I like really admire like African or like foreign comedians when their names are like Ike Fuma Badadingbo.
Right.
And you mess it up and they're like, it's this. And you're like, whoa, that's like a level of self-respect
Oh, yeah.
I wish I had. Because people mispronounce it. I'm like, say whatever you want. I'm a worm. I don't even have to do this. I'll just go home. I'm lower than dirt. You know, like, whoa, that's pride in your name. That's fucking cool.
Dude, you've seen my name and you know my name. And I'll tell you what.
I can't imagine.
I have relationships with people who I have never corrected. I'm just Julio to them.
Oh, dude.
So-
I did that with a fucking comic that thought I was Jim Twos for like 3 years. I just never corrected him. And then like around him one day, someone was like, what's up, Ian? He's like, your name's Ian? And I was like, yeah. He's like, when were you going to fucking tell me? I was I just kind of rolled with it.
I'm fucked no matter what.
Yeah.
That's funny, bro. Well, anyway, off to a rocky start here, but I'm going to try to redeem myself.
Man, you're fucking nailing it. It's great.
Well, we were just talking about how Ian just performed for the most amount of people he has ever performed in front of, which is a number that greatly exceeds the number of people I have ever performed for. We're kind of talking about some of the nuances of it. 18,000 people, right?
18,000. It's
a lot of
the
people.
Kia Forum Saturday night.
Sick, dude.
Crazy.
So cool.
Opening for Bert.
Bert
It
Kreischer,
was-
for
it
anybody
was
who
a-
doesn't know.
A gift laid upon me. It was not my own crowd. The most I've ever performed for in front of my crowd is like 350, 400.
That's
But
pretty good. That's pretty
that's,
good, my boy.
you know, everything else is always just somehow I backdoored my way onto someone else's big event.
That's cool. Well, dude, but it appears that you're doing pretty well. Would you agree? When I see your shit pop up, I'm like, oh, this guy, great engagement. He's in the mix.
Whoa.
He's friends with everybody.
You're all over my Explore
He's all
on
over.
Instagram.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, tell it to my fucking views because I don't know what's happening.
Oh, I think everybody's.
Oh, dude,
everybody's
I
going
do
through
know what's
this.
happening. They're suppressing a lot of shit leading up to the election.
Really?
Yeah, and if you say certain words, you get suppressed because you have to go into your Instagram and say that you're okay with sensitive content. It's something that they've done leading up to the election. I was getting tons of views and all this stuff, and then I got dinged. I posted a picture on a story with me and Jordan's dog. I said, oh my God, she's so cute. I want to pop her little head off.
She is cute.
And I got a community guideline violation for inciting violence.
Oh my God.
And then I posted a clip of me and Attell on the stage at the Cellar. I'm dressed as Santa Claus. And he goes, you're a climate denying Santa, right? And I go, yeah, matter of fact, I put everyone on the naughty list that got the vaccine.
Oh God.
And it got dinged as misinformation.
Oh my God.
And ever since then, everything has been dying.
Damn. You're a troublemaker, dude.
I'm a little rebel around.
You're a naughty little boy.
Vaccine's the big buzzword. That's like the first thing where they started.
Which one?
It's
Vax?
crazy.
Vaccine.
Oh, yeah.
When COVID came, that was
Yeah.
the big buzzword where they would add the hey, make sure this is correct information.
Well, it's crazy because so many people welcome it because they're like, we have to stop the spread of misinformation. It's like, well, it's far gone. We're too stupid to even delineate truth from fiction. And it's if you can't see for yourself the truth and have the critical thinking skills, you're completely fucked.
Right.
And then to place that in the hands of the government, which is in bed with the corporations, which we are all slaves to in terms of like the algorithm and all this stuff, we're fucked. We're totally fucked. Absolutely. And then people on your posts will be like, well, I could say anything, flipping free speech, and they edit themselves because they're talking about free speech while they're self-censoring for the fucking stupid thing that we're on, and then they still think we have like free speech. It's fucking nuts. But thank you for saying I'm killing it. I don't see it, but that's very kind of you. Thank you.
The algorithm doesn't they also don't like when you use a bleep instead of a swear. They will sense that. And
really?
That's a new thing that I recently read.
Damn it.
So I'll replace, like, if I swear in the podcast, I'll replace it with just you, like, breathing or something.
That's even worse. Yeah, being like, you know what? Yeah. So, dude, I was this chick.
It's a heavy breath.
That's wild.
That's wild.
Dude,
Well,
we're living in hell.
People talking about how they're afraid of AI and stuff. It's like, we are already dealing with AI. You know what I mean? Like you get your thing dinged for no reason. And then there's nothing you can do. You like submit a complaint, but then even if you're successful, you're already screwed.
You've already lost.
You've lost the like momentum or whatever that's happening.
And at the same time, it's like, remember when AI first came out and you're like, oh, you could totally tell. Look at all the fingers. They really fix that fucking quick.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's
definitely getting better.
I mean, it's great for the group chats. You can make Trump say whatever you want, you know? But it's all like, dude, it's so funny. Everything under the guise of humor, like when we were doing those face swap apps and everything, the database of our faces for them to create. That's why, like, I'm afraid of being in my 40s on dating apps, thinking I'm talking to some fucking smoke show and it's just some Indian guy that's AI and I'm just like giving my life over to because I'm like, maybe one day I will see Bobby's, you know, like it just sucks. I want to throw my phone in the river.
Well, dude, I think everybody's shit is not getting as much whatever as it used to. And you occasionally see people having a breakdown about it, which I hope to not get to that point. It could happen someday. But they're like, if you haven't seen my last post, you know what I mean? You see that a good amount.
Well, dude, Jamila, you know that girl?
No.
She's like, she's super hot, like British. I think I may be mistaken. I am going to say Indian, but she may be Pakistani. I'm not sure, but what's the difference, right? Every breath.
Went from being very PC to the absolute opposite.
No. But she got dinged for mentioning Palestine a bunch. And then she started coming up on my feed again when she started posting thirst traps. And in the caption being like, this is what the algorithm wants, And then all these people were like, now I'm seeing you in my feed. So a part of me is like, maybe I got to post my cock. You know? It's like a fat hog pic.
We'll do a horny photo shoot after we record today.
It's a good example. Oh, yeah, do it for like instructional use. You know the girls who have who breastfeed the fake baby? Oh. It's fully allowed.
Dude. Yeah. And then at the same time, there's just some like 17-year-old jiggling these fucking delicious nanners when she turns 18, I will say. And then that's like millions of views and da-da-da-da-da. And then, oh my God. Okay, sorry. I'm just going to go. You know, there was a fucking article, I think it was in the New Yorker or the Atlantic, about Instagram micro-influencing moms that put pictures of their daughters in bikinis and they go through the roof with engagement, but the majority of the engagement is pedophiles and the moms are okay with it
because they're getting the views.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, it's fucking evil.
Jesus.
It's crazy.
Looks like a grown woman to me, brother.
I mean, hey, 4 going on 40. Yeah, come on. I mean, it's fucking disgusting.
Dude, man. You need to see what I'm talking about. I'll send some of them to you after.
So someone's breastfeeding a fake baby.
Somebody has their their boob out and they are fake breastfeeding a fake baby, and then it'll be like for instructional use only. There's no instruction happening. They're just pulling.
Boob?
Bro, I'm gonna show you guys right now. It's the craziest, and now you're gonna start seeing these all the time.
Everyone listening.
They
is
Oh yeah,
are-
the phone listens all the time. It's
yeah.
fucking crazy. Big hot mommy Latinas in my area.
Latching.
Anyway,
Latching.
dude,
no, what? That's a real boob.
Yes, dude, and that's a fake baby.
May I see?
Yeah, yes, Lynch, you may.
May I?
Dude,
That's so creepy.
Dude, there's like
Yeah,
hundreds
I
of
get
these
dinged
accounts.
for being like, I want to rip a dog's head off. It's cute.
I know.
Can I open the comment section real quick?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Is it just like random foreign comments like
Beautiful,
come to
beautiful, nourishing
India,
mother.
come to Brazil?
Beautiful, nourishing mother.
Be much more comfortable feeding if you pull them both out.
Oh, God. Who's giving that advice? They better be leading a Lamaze class. I'll tell you that much. This is nuts, man.
Wow.
What a world.
Right.
You have to pull something like that to get some
God,
engagement. Sell some
Dude, when
tickets.
they invented the internet, they were like, it'll bridge the gaps in humanity. And now people are like, how do I get around showing tits? You know?
I do posting a sexy pic and saying the algorithm asks for this or the algorithm wants this. That'd be a pretty funny thing to put up
Yeah,
and
dude.
help boost your account.
So yeah, just pull it out, man, and be like, anatomy lesson 101 or whatever. How to know if you're
Instructional.
I should just
Instructional.
post, like me in like short shorts, but a big long thing to like bleep it out to make it look like my like cock goes down to my knee, you know, in like all my pictures.
do the pause game.
Yeah.
The pause game is when for one frame in a video there's a nude.
Dude, I'll tell you this. We used to do that to jerk off watching VHSs as kids. I remember going to my buddy's house and he was like, dude, get in here. And he paused the scene when Drew Barrymore steps over the table to get sick in The Wedding Singer. And for a split second, you can like see her underwear. And it was like, everybody, man your battle stations. We're jerking off. And we all went to separate parts of like the room, you know?
That's great.
Oh, dude.
That's great.
Yeah. There was nothing like catching like a nip slip on like a VHS when you were
yeah.
a kid. Just like something innocent about it, no way.
Looking for any possible thing you can, or like the blurred X-rated channel.
Oh,
it was
my
blue
God.
and like it was kind of fuzzy.
You didn't know if it was an elbow or a butt. You're like, either way, I'm gonna fucking masturbate.
I remember
Use
when
your
I was
imagination.
really young, around 11 o'clock on TV, they would do ads for Girls Gone Wild, the VHS tapes, right?
Yes.
Or the DVDs. And that got me excited. And I was very confused because I was young. I was very young. Mm-hmm. But it was good. You what were you going to say?
No, on top of that point, in Italy, my family's Italian, so we go to Italy in the summer. I'm sitting downstairs watching TV, everyone's in bed, and all of a sudden, the ads that come on
Yeah, they show nudity.
I was like, what
Yeah.
the fuck is this,
know.
dude? It's a very confusing experience.
You mentioned stuffing something into a pair of shorts to make it look like you're more well endowed than you actually are. Have you guys seen the show 1,000 Ways to Die?
I remember that.
On Spike TV in like
Yes.
the early 2000s.
Yep.
One of the guys, I don't even know if these are real or not, if they're fabricated, but a guy was having a tough time picking up chicks at bars, so he stuck
Stuck?
He stuck.
Stuck.
He stuck.
He's still-
And babies are born from a stork.
A big piece of pepperoni in his pants, and he
Right.
tied the belt around, and he made himself look, really
Right.
big. He lost circulation in his leg, and he died at
What?
the bar.
No.
Yeah,
This is real?
I mean, this is on that show where they say that it's real, but obviously, it sounds like there's
okay.
some.
Could you imagine
Nothing
the
wrong with
embarrassment
that.
of dying that way and then having to have your family sign off on the reenactment?
Yeah,
You know?
Here's $80.
Yeah. Here's not even a day rate. Yeah.
Non-union.
The reenactor is going to get paid more than your family compensated for using this horrific death story.
That is definitely the bottom of the barrel of acting, reenactment, reenacting.
Oh, dude, I laughed so hard. I was watching a investigative discovery about Lorena Bobbitt. Remember that? She chopped off her husband's penis. And I was watching with my mom, and they did the reenactment when the cops found it. And there's a cop, and he puts a flashlight on the ground and goes, "Yep, That's a penis, all right. And it's so funny knowing the process of like getting a role and reading sides and being in the room and getting a call back and then being on set and then telling your family, and that's like the line, you know?
And everybody's all proud of you.
Oh, yeah. And you're saying the line over and over, like, yep, that's a penis, all right. No.
Try it again. Why don't you put a little more
that's a penis,
emphasis
all right.
on penis?
No. Yep.
That's a penis, all right?
Yeah.
Got it. Moving on.
Yeah. That's a penis.
Your parents sit there. They're all proud of you.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Astapro for sponsoring this episode and for sending us free samples.
Dude, I cannot stop sniffling.
Allergies?
Allergies are absolutely eating me alive. It's terrible, bro.
Yeah, it's tough, man. You got to try out Astapro. Really great nose spray. Really solid for dealing with allergy season. I mean, I love it. I highly recommend it, man.
Yeah.
Astapro is the first of its kind nasal allergy spray. It is the fastest 24-hour over-the-counter allergy spray. It starts working in 30 minutes while other allergy sprays take hours. Astapro is the first and only 24-hour steroid-free allergy spray. And Astapro delivers full prescription strength indoor and outdoor allergy relief from nasal congestion, runny and itchy nose, and sneezing. So, get fast-acting nasal allergy symptom relief with Astapro. Go to astaproallergy.com for a discount so you can Astapro and go today. ASTEPRO allergy.com. Astapro. It's faster, bro.
Faster, bro.
You like that?
I do like that.
Use as directed for relief of nasal congestion, runny nose, sneezing, and itchy nose due to allergies. Well, yeah, I want to talk about your special. So,
thanks.
I watched it today. I really enjoyed it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really kind of you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
It was great. What stuck out to me, not that you care or that it matters, but
I do.
It felt very, true and unique to you, and also you were able to sort of hit all of the main things that I might say if someone was like, tell me about Ian. And I had to list 5 things, you covered all of those.
Yeah.
And that might seem obvious to everybody listening, but sometimes you just think of what you think of, and those are your jokes. Mm-hmm. So it's not always easy or obvious to make jokes about the stuff that you, quote, should be making jokes about, if that's a thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was like, oh, this is very authentic. It's very him.
No, that means a
very
lot, man.
funny.
That's
I
like
had enjoyed
what
it.
I was going for. And I wanted there to be an arc and like basically this is who I am. This is what I'm about. But at the same time, it's like, if you're doing personal, truthful material to yourself, if someone doesn't like that, it's like, oh shit, you don't like me.
That's true. Yeah.
Like you can't hide behind the veneer of a joke because the joke is you. You know,
it's true. Yeah.
So I appreciate that. The fact that you picked up on that. Thank you.
For
man.
sure, bro.
Thank you.
For sure. Really nice. Everything about it, the title, it had a really nice, felt like it was a through line. It was easy to watch. It was over quickly, which is always a good sign too. So yeah, bro.
Yeah, it was tough to edit.
I'm sure.
Because I'm flailing around the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
How many shows did you tape?
I did 2, and the first show, we got it. So, this special is 98% first show.
Interesting.
Second show, I'm actually going to release it behind Punch Up Live, which is this new thing. It's fucking great. It's a way to get a mailing list and everything. Dude, I have seen a marked difference from just using it in the past 2 months, selling out ahead of time just from the mailing list and everything. Yeah. Which is thank fucking God, because there's nothing worse than going to the venue and you're like, how are sales? They're like, it's light, but it's going to be fun. And you're like, I suck.
And but, you don't, because one thing that kills me is asking 2 weeks before, and then the show ends up being good. So I'm not even going to ask.
Dude,
I can't spiral.
I'm a day of sellout guy. And that makes me spiral though, because up until the thing, I'm like, oh, what? No one's here. I suck. And then my agent was like, you're a black comic. You're a day of selling. And I was like, that's the best thing I've ever heard.
Cool. Thanks.
But so I'm going to put the second show behind that because it was a fucking disaster. It was, dude, the crowd, they were all my people, but they sucked.
Interesting.
And they were wooing at the premise or or supportive, but what the fuck? And then just weird on some stuff. And I had to break the fucking my act and be like, what the fuck is the matter with you people?
That's
like
hilarious.
berate them and then like go in. But it was cool because at a certain point I said out loud, I was like, all right, now I got you motherfuckers. And then it was like, all right, but I'm going to put that up on that thing. Cause it was just like, I was having like an out of body experience. I was like, how is this going so bad?
Totally.
You know?
Well, that's unique too, because usually people tend to say that their second show ends up being
The one.
Yeah.
Dude, nailed it in the first. Like, and they're like, dude, just have fun. And then it was like anything but fun. Chaos. I was like, Jesus. And if I have one like regret, I should have just gone out and been like, dude, we nailed it in the first, so let's fucking have fun. But instead, I put up that mask of like, recreating the first thing, and maybe they picked up on that, you know?
Oh, like the audience?
Maybe, yeah, I don't know. Also, Jordan opened it up for me, and I love her, God bless her, but she like kept calling people in the crowd autistic. And then like, I like, what's your problem? Oh, you're all fucked up, man. And like, I have a joke where I say I'm autistic, and no one laughed. I was like, well, the autism well has run dry.
Hilarious. Yeah.
But you filmed at the Den.
I did
in Chicago.
yeah.
How was it?
It was great, man.
Yeah?
It was good. Mine, I used a lot of both shows I ended up doing because like I did things uniquely better in one show than the other, which I'm sure you obviously understand. But like, for example, you know, my second show was way better, but the first show I like hit some premises, some setups cleaner and whatever. So, you know, editing it was fine, but it was obviously editing a special is more challenging than it seems for a variety of reasons, including the fact that you have to sit there and watch yourself 700 times. So not only do you lose perspective, but you're like, you know, the set so well that you're like, is this even funny at all?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a challenging experience.
Well, that's also too, like, because sometimes you need fresh eyes to like pick up on something. And sometimes on like TV shows or like ad campaigns, it comes out and people are like, well, this is terrible. Why would they ever let this air? And then it's like, probably because so many people were just tired of watching it.
Totally.
You know?
Totally. Yeah, it's like, okay, so let me get this straight. I fixed one tiny thing, but we have to watch the entire thing to make sure that nothing went wrong.
Yeah.
So, dude, fully agree. And I actually was asking somebody about this because we were kind of like having a couple problems with little stuff. And I asked the post supervisor, I'm like, okay, if you're like Ron Howard, do you do this also, or do you have like 18 people who do this for you before it actually gets to you?
Yeah.
She's like, definitely the latter. And I was like, that must be great.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
Yeah, I had my editor, Ethan Dupree, shout out. He's great. He's a producer of the podcast. He's awesome. He edited it, and I totally put everything in his hands. I watched the first like raw, just one camera, and then he was like, look, I'm going to do all the angles, and then we'll go through, and that helped out a lot because it's just so overwhelming. And you're like, what do I do? Oh my God. But that poor kid, I'm just over his shoulder. and I'm like, oh, what about if we get the angle where I'm like, huh? And then we do the one where I'm like, ha.
Right,
and he's like, I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah,
you know?
dude.
And also a huge thing was my sweating. I was sweating so much with like the lights and everything. And then in one thing, I'm like, hey, I'm a dry person. The next one, I'm just like a wet dog.
Oh, interesting.
Like,
I didn't
Jesus
notice.
Christ.
I didn't notice. It is funny the things that you just don't notice.
Right?
But dude, yeah, like because again, I'll watch a comedy special and I'll see somebody who's just like wearing something that's bright pink or whatever. And like they are sweating so bad in the pits. And you're like, how do they let this happen?
Oh,
it's just
my favorite's
impossible
the
to
water
avoid
bottle. The water bottle is the thing
different
that
level
people,
or whatever.
yeah, and where it's like missing,
Right,
or
right,
you
right,
know,
right.
I love that.
It's always the fucking water bottle, dude. Well, dude, you and I have known each other a long time.
Yeah,
Easily over a decade.
Yeah.
When did you move here? Or when would you start coming up? Because I definitely met you
I
then.
moved here. I moved to New York in 2003. I went to school here, and then I left in 2008, and then came back in 2012 for comedy.
Okay, yeah,
so I started comedy in 2011 in Philly.
Okay.
But you called me the soft pack king, which is so funny because I remember specifically meeting you at New York Comedy Club, and you would bum cigarettes for me, and then I thought, you know what? Dude, maybe I should just sell people packs So I would get cartons, and when people on the street would go, "Can I have a cigarette?" I go, "I'll do you one better. I'll sell you this pack for fucking $10."
Yeah.
And they'd be like, "No, I just want one."
Hilarious.
And then my enterprise just failed.
Bro, I would buy them from you. I used to buy packs of cigs from him.
Yep.
That was fire.
You
bro.
got me started on that. I remember that.
go. I
I would
had
come
no
up with a
idea.
backpack full of packs, be like, "I'm gonna be a millionaire."
You're doing the math. You're like, all right, Gallerati's good for 2 of these.
Yeah.
How much does a pack cost?
I mean, back then it was like fucking probably like 5, 6, 8. I don't know.
I think you were selling them, like back then they must have been like 13. I think you were selling them for less than 10.
Yeah,
I don't recall
because I was getting
specifically.
cartons from Delaware.
Yeah.
And they were like,
Enterprising.
it's 65 or 70. But dude, now cigarettes in the city are $17 to $19.
Yeah, it's
So
expensive.
I get a guy, I get it per pack,
Yeah.
and I get a guy that gives them to me for $9, which thank God. But when I go down south, I mean, I need a whole different suitcase just for cigs. You know,
How many are in a pack?
20.
20.
Dude, I got a carton of Senecas from a reservation in Buffalo, $31 for a carton, and I'm like, oh, this is
Oh God, are they just
heaven
like,
on earth. But
How many are in a carton?
they're like Buffalo high?
bro, they're not regulated, so it's like floor sweepings and just like, bro, I smoked half a pack. I lost my voice. My gums were bleeding.
Oh my God.
I'm like, this is fucking nuts, man. I'm like, they played the long con to get us back. Good for you guys.
Well
you know?
done. Well
Yeah.
done, bro.
Took a while, but they are genociding us now. So it's
Getting
great.
you back with the
Yeah.
cigs.
Yeah.
Dude. Fuck, I had a
Yeah, but I
cigarette
remember meeting you, and you guys were always so nice to me. And I remember, I'll never forget getting booked on Fat Baby.
Oh, yeah.
I was fucking in the throes of relapsing, working at some stupid financial firm, and I got the email, and I was like, oh my God. And I told Cassidy in like my group chat, and Cassie and Sam Rubinoff came to like support and everything.
yeah.
And that was like the fucking show, dude.
It was a good show.
Fat Baby was like one of the last remnants of like old New York knife fight bar show craziness. You guys would have like a prompt you picked out, and you had to like rap about a word or something. DJ No Face is sitting there, and I like the craziest motherfucker ever. It was just like the coolest cast of characters. Man. That was the best fucking time.
Yeah, I'm glad you liked it, man. Yeah, it was a fun show. It was crazy. I mean, we've talked about it on the pod a bit, but like, yeah, it's just hilarious how every comic any comic who's old enough or has been doing comedy long enough to have done it has done it.
Yeah.
And we were pretty good about like not taking the show too seriously, which, you know, we pretty much let anybody on the show. So, you know, not taking away from your accomplishment, not anybody, but like if there was any reason to let
No, but
anybody
that
on
was
the
like
show,
the
we let them on the
quintessential
show.
New York stand-up show.
Totally,
You know, it was like that, Giannis's bar.
Yeah, oh my
4,
God.
right?
On Park
and then
Slope.
Like, and then like Cabin. And
Yes.
there were like these tiers of bar shows that were like, when you hit it, you're like, oh, this is
Yeah,
progress.
yeah.
You know,
Yes.
that was like tangible evidence that you were
Yes.
like doing well.
And that's funny you say that, because in comedy, like I was telling him this the other day, because he's been doing it for a couple of years now. And it's funny because like those first few years are easier than that next few years, because you can get these little easy milestones that make you feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
And then you realize that those mean nothing. And then you're like, fuck, how do you then hit those next ones? Like,
and then you get the trickster ones, which is the Gotham Comedy Live.
Right,
and you're like,
right.
this is great. And then you're
Let's
like,
go.
oh, this
Did you
is-
do that?
Oh,
yeah.
twice.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I did it too.
What
No,
makes
3
that a trickster?
Because it's like this, it's like a TV credit, but it's for like a satellite channel, and they juice the crowd to the point where like you could literally just pick your nose and flick it, and they're like,
yeah, dude. Oh, yeah.
you know. And I got it way too early, and it was, I mean, I took it offline. It was like such a hack, fucking.
Oh, funny.
Dude, I'm like imitating like white women in the fall, like it's fucking. I'm imitating my students teaching in the South Bronx. It's like the most racist thing ever. I'm like, yo, Mr. Finance, what you got that haircut for? And that was like, yeah, this is amazing.
Go check this set out, by the way, guys, if it's still
Yeah,
online.
right. It has been scrubbed. But it's like whatever. That's who I was at the time.
Yeah,
it's like,
it's
you
fine.
know, and I don't know. It's like a thing of like everyone eventually gets it, and it's I don't know, like that's like the joke credit, I guess. I remember people being like, oh yeah, oh cool.
Well, dude, the credit got worse.
It's a big deal to me.
Yeah,
damn it.
I know. Yeah, and then you're like, well, once I get credits, and then it's like, nope, that doesn't matter either.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, it's crazy. I'm not trying to paint a bleak picture. It is a bleak
it's
picture,
bleak.
but it's also rewarding at times.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, I don't know if there are those little markers of like, oh, I'm doing the right thing, like getting that bar show or like getting your own show or like these little like signs.
Like, what are they now? Is it a video going viral?
I guess, but then it's like, cool, you go viral, but it's like, do you have the chops to keep it up?
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
like
totally.
I don't know what it is. I mean,
Dude, Live at Gotham is funny because it used to be on Comedy Central and then they changed it to that channel.
Yes.
So like the second iteration of it was far less valuable because it was AXS TV, which just sounds like Access TV, which sounds like like late night New York one
local cable,
local nonsense that means nothing. So anyway, bro, quite a wild ride. But so it's funny on this show, this has become a trend where, I have people on who I've known forever, but I've never gotten to ask them these kind of questions. Yeah. But I have a specific thing that I think about you that I'm curious about.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know. Brace yourself. No, I'm joking. But no, I remember there being this like moment with you, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed as if you like had a moment where you're like, I'm going to just, and this is my perspective of it. Tell me if you agree or not, or what I'm onto, if I'm onto anything, but where you're like, I no longer care what people think about me. It felt like that, and unspecific to any information, just like a vibe perspective. And it seemed like you suddenly started doing very, very well. And those two things seemed to coincide to me. And I'm wondering if if I'm onto anything at all, or what you think by hearing me say that.
I mean, first of all, thank you. No, for real. Like that. I mean, I would like to think that that's true what you said. And, I think I thought I was supposed to be someone for so long. And in my personal life, I very much was playing a role of what I thought I should be. I had these like secrets about me and everything. And I was like doing all this stuff in my personal life to like be honest about who I was. And all I want to do is be a great stand-up. And I realized like, what am I even talking about on stage? Like I have all this fear. I'm like scared. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. And I just started to be like so brutally honest to like almost a detriment about me and my life and my what I am. And it was like so freeing in a way to just like break this idea of what I thought a comic is, or what I thought a person is, or what a guy is, or what a man is, know. And that really kind of like popped a thing in my brain to be like, dude, just fucking, I mean, it's definitely like, I don't know if it's a detriment or not, but it's definitely, I don't know if it's held me back, but it's been wild and a little tough, like being so unable to be like a specific thing, because I'm just enough of this, but I'm not enough of that. I'm this and that, but I'm not.
Interesting.
But
I don't feel that way about you.
Interesting.
When I see you, I'm like, I think your identity feels pretty clear to me.
Interesting.
As like, and maybe, there are things that are contradictory about it. And maybe that's what you mean, where you're like, oh, he's this and he's this, but he's also that and that. But like, to me, that paints a unique identity that is easy for me to put my finger on broadly.
Interesting.
Is how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But,
Well, thank you. I mean, what is the timeline? Like, what time are you thinking?
Okay. So roughly, I remember like you started doing stuff with Nikki.
Right.
That around that time is maybe when I started noticing. I don't know, where that lines up. So maybe, I don't know, what was that? 2018?
Yeah.
Earlier than that? I don't know.
It's interesting because I had a mental breakdown a little before that. And I like looked at that as this time when my brain legitimately broke. And then I was like, fuck it. You know?
Right.
And I think, I don't know if you're alluding to it or not, but a lot, I think had to do with like my sexuality and everything. Which was like crazy because I was coming to terms with like being with men, which I always kept a secret. I thought I was going to like go to the grave with that. And then I was at a gay bar alone, and the Pulse shooting happened. Do you remember that?
No.
In
Orlando.
In Orlando, yeah. And I remember I was at a gay bar. I was at like a nightclub alone, and I left to go eat at Veselka, and I saw the news. I just started crying because I was like, dude, what if I was there and I got killed, and everyone in my life is like, why was he at a fucking gay bar alone? Like, what the fuck? And I was like, I gotta get right. I gotta fucking just tell people what I am and what I'm about. And then around that time I had like a fucking breakdown, and a part of it was like, because I started telling people about this and nobody cared, like not in a way of like, oh, who gives a shit, but they were like, oh man, that's cool. We still love you. Because I always thought like everyone would hate me and like all this stuff.
Or like,
so
or talk about you or whatever.
Well, I mean, that's happened and is happening. You know, I've had to get, you know, some people say some slick shit and I've had to kind of like,
interesting.
Because
They're just like,
it's like jarring,
trying to bust your balls, but it's just like in poor taste.
Yeah. Like I get to tell
that.
people I don't play some of that shit, you know, and like also, you know, like when I first started talking about it, it was like super abrasive. I mean, I am abrasive, but like, I mean, I was coming to terms with this stuff
What
in my
is abrasive?
private life. I mean, like knowing me for a while and then seeing me on stage and not having a conversation in private and me being like, I was sucking a dick. And it's like, what? And then, you know, like that would be like wild to people. And then they would like say shit to me. And I was like so raw about it. You know, I had to get in a couple like altercations about it. But I mean, like, you know, you gotta have sharp elbows, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, at a certain point, I was like, man, what am I living for if not me? And I gotta just fucking like, if I want to spin on stage, I'm gonna spin.
Right.
You know, like,
dude, like, the embodiment in a positive way to me of dance like nobody's watching.
Yeah.
And I find it inspiring, man. Like, and I like also think that the way you use social media and you post what you want, when you want, it comes off as authentic. There's no like, it doesn't seem like there's an angle behind it.
Oh, thanks.
Other than, you know, we know we need to use it and that's important, but like very raw, very solid. And I'm like, that's inspiring. Man, I find it inspiring.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it's, I just got to give a lot of credit to mental illness and, you know, being completely manic depressive.
Do you feel better these days than you did before?
Yeah.
Like, and I know you said, you know, you got sober or whatever. So like what's the timeline? So you said 8 years in your special, right?
Yeah, it's nine now. It's so funny, dude. I dated myself with so many. At one point, I'm like, it's 2023.
Oh, funny.
8 years.
Fuck.
It's like fucking hell.
That's funny.
Just so funny that I like put these markers on it. But yeah, I mean, I got sober finally when I turned 30 back in like 2015, and that was incredibly. I think did we do a road? Were you?
We did a road gig
at Rutgers, right?
Me, you, Ricky, and somebody else. Or it might have just been us three. I don't remember.
Okay, no. I'm thinking it was me, Pavich, and Corinne, and I just came off like a bender. My face was still red, and I was still like shaky. And we went to like a house party, and I just stood outside. I couldn't go inside, and Pavich was like, yeah, I'm going to bang this girl. I'm just going to take a train back. And I was like, okay, fine. Corinne, can we please leave? You know, it was like, of course he bagged like the hottest chick there. You know, it was fucking awesome.
Bless his heart. Yeah. That's funny.
I was like, I'll pick you up at the train station if I can smell your hands. Those Rutger gigs were wild.
All right, Oops fam. Mother's Day has just passed and Father's Day is right around the corner. Don't forget to give your father or father figure a thoughtful gift. I picked up flowers for my mom. That was fine. But I want to go above and beyond for my dad this year. And we partner up with StoryWorth. They give you something thoughtful and memorable that you can give to anybody in your life. But think ahead, plan for Father's Day. It's a great way to get to know any relative. But this holiday's around the corner. It's a good one to get for dad.
I have given this gift before, and I can say it's a really wonderful gift. Basically, the way it works is over a period of a year, StoryWorth will send question prompts to the person that you've gifted this to. The idea is a lot of the time when you have these relationships with some of your elders or your parents or your grandparents or whoever, it ends up being a little bit of a one-way street where like you're the one telling everything and they're not the one sharing with you. That's somehow how that relationship can unfold. StoryWorth, the goal is to find out things that you might not ever have found out about these people. A, because you're just not typically asking those kind of questions. B, maybe you're like uncomfortable to ask. Somehow like using this as a buffer is really helpful. Because you're not like actually the one asking it, and them writing it instead of saying it to you helps them be more honest. So listen, as the year goes on and these questions are prompted and sent to them, they answer the questions and you can read their answers in real time. But at the end of the 12 months, it will actually compile a book as a memory and keepsake for you of all of their answers. I think Ryan has some of the sample questions here.
Have you ever been a hero to someone? Has anyone been a hero to you? Do you have a favorite poem? What is it? What were you like when you were 40? You know, you were younger when they were 40. That's a great question to ask. What are some of your special talents that I might not know? What were your favorite cartoons growing up? Do you have any funny or embarrassing Thanksgiving stories? Dads have stories. Anybody you know has stories, and unless you ask them, they might not go out of their way to share them with you. So that's why this is like an easy liaison to get to know anybody better. Great questions.
Get your dad to open up this Father's Day. Give all the fathers in your life a unique, heartfelt gift that you'll all cherish for years. StoryWorth. Right now, save $10 on your first purchase when you go to storyworth.com/oops. That's storyworth.com/oops to save $10 on your first purchase.
Oh my God. Do you remember that gig we did at that old folks home?
Yes.
And the guy had duct tape on his face?
Yes, dude. That's crazy. I don't think we ever talked about this.
Not the duck face.
Dude, I used to host these Gotham Comedy Foundation gigs at old age homes. Not purely out of the goodness of my heart. I think I thought that there would be some sort of back end value to me where like maybe I'd get in with Gotham. I still don't work at Gotham, by the way.
Yeah, of course.
And what ended up happening with that is I got arrested and I needed the guy to like write my community service thing for me.
I had no idea.
And it was sort of no. This is after. I had already been doing that, but I think he wanted to part ways once he had found out what had happened to me. Hilarious. It was sort of unspoken. But leading up to that, I would host these shows at different old age homes and hospitals.
Yeah, midday.
Which one did you do? Do you remember?
I don't know. It was in some industrial yard somewhere under a bridge. I'm like, what the door's like padlocked to get inside. I mean, there was just droolies and shakies and some guy with duct tape on his head, like covering a wound. And literally, I'm up there just like, just, I wore like a sweater with like a collared shirt underneath to like look presentable, Dude. It was like you, me, and Reg Thomas, I think.
Yeah, sounds
wild.
Right. Dude.
Wild.
And yeah, it's one of those gigs where like they don't really know, they either don't know what's going on, they don't care and don't want you there. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it would be good, but a lot of the times it's like you're getting heckled, sort of.
Yeah, and it's all the Mista lady from Happy Gilmore.
Yes.
Like, get me out of here!
Dude, totally. Yeah. Oh my God, what a fucking trip. I think I
panicked and tried to relate and was like, my grandma was in a home. Anyway,
Like, so who's fucking in here? Huh?
Yeah.
I hosted, I think the last one I did, I hosted a talent show. Ricky came with me to this.
Dude, I did that at the outpatient rehab center I checked myself into in 2015. Way. I hosted the talent show, and there's a guy playing drums. Half his body is limp from a stroke he had from shooting dope.
Oh, my God.
And he's just hitting a drum like this. And I had to be like, give it up for Rico. Yes. Yes. And now everybody coming to the stage. And it's some woman like nodding out, reading poetry and everything. Fucking wild.
Dude, wild. And some of it was like really cute. Other was like, I remember this one guy, I was like, all right, I had the list of what the people are going to do. I was like, David's going to come up and play the trumpet. And he goes, you guys ready for my trumpet? And then he just starts going, burp, 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 burp,
oh, yes. 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 Oh, that's the best.
Air trumpet, bro.
Oh. Dude, this guy Mark was a photographer, but he printed out all his photos on loose leaf paper and just hung them up. I mean, it was just the best, dude. The best. I was in group therapy for self-esteem, and it's just me and all these crackheads from fucking Jersey.
So you were enrolled in the program at the time of hosting.
Yeah, dude. In 2015, I checked myself into an outpatient rehab. I had to go to 2 classes a week and therapy, and I was in a group for self-esteem, and then I was in a group for like alcohol dependence, and then I had therapy, and that place, man, saved my fucking life. Like, dude, the group therapy thing helped so much with like self-esteem and value and everything. But there were some times, man, where I'm like, dude, I'm in a group therapy for self-esteem. I'm 31. Like, God, I suck.
Damn.
Like shit is not good.
Well,
But
do
it was cool though. It's and dude, hanging with those people was like the best, man. And I always gravitated because I was like a bad gutter drunk, so I always gravitated towards like the bottom of the barrel, you know. And
You're like, these are my people.
oh, totally, yeah. Like the meetings and like rehabs and detoxes I went to were always just like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Heavy.
oh yeah, oh yeah, under the bridge downtown.
Yeah, literally, bro. Well, do you feel more confident now, though? Like in the aftermath of of a lot of your success, and you are so well respected by the top people, in the industry. You seem to garner sincere friendships so well, and you know, anytime I see you with a group of people, I'm like, oh, of course he's friends with them too. Like, you're just a friendly guy. People like you a lot. Like, do you feel as if any of that has aided your confidence? Like, would you be a quote, and you may not feel like a confident person, so don't let me put it in your mouth, but like, no pun intended, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's for after the pod. Ryan, why don't you take those fucking pants off?
Okay, sorry, I'll land the plane here. But yeah, do you feel like you have more self-esteem in general? Is it pegged to a lot of your success? Like, what does that look like for you compared to when you were checked into this center?
I mean, honestly, well, thank you, but also I feel like my confidence and self-esteem and all that like stems from like my personal life and all the things I've had to do to like stay on the straight and narrow with that, because even if I'm not drinking, doing drugs, I'll still find, like terrible things to get into. And so like I have to act esteemably to have self-esteem. And when I feel shame, it's because I'm acting shamefully. And, that's when, my confidence gets shaken and everything. But like living and doing things in my private life is infinitely just helps steady the course in my professional life. And I'm not one of these guys that can like, some guys are like real good at like taking negativity or like, bad feelings and putting that into their creative thing. But I have to be like happy and positive, and that's when I'm at my best. And in order to do that, I have to be like sharpening steel in my personal life. And so really it's all dependent on my, how I'm feeling, off stage and when I'm not like out and everything. But also I love being around people until I don't. So like I love hanging and like, just, not going home alone, so like, but I don't know. It's, and it's also really dependent on like my sleep, my exercise, my eating, like if I'm not taking care of those things, my confidence and my social battery is just dreadfully through the floor, and then I just like, I don't know. I like, my grandfather was a guy that everybody loved, and, they always had stories about him, and he had a barbershop in the city of Wilmington. We walked down the street and everybody would, hey, Danny, hey, how you doing? And, at Christmas,
Mayor vibes.
He would dress as Santa Claus and give candy, and I would dress as his like little helper.
Oh, nice.
And so now every Christmas in my neighborhood and other places, I dress as Santa Claus. Nice. I give candy. He was, a man about town. And I really try to embody that in a way because it just feels good. I feel like I've really come into the understanding of my role and my place on this earth, and it's to be of service through humor. A big part of sobriety is being of service to others, and I found I'm really good at making people feel good, whether it's personally or through laughter, and I feel better when I'm serving other people through their happiness. And that is a detriment to me because I don't have anything in me, because
for you, like you're not getting anything.
Yeah, but
you are, like, but like,
yeah, but also it's like, I getting sober and like as time progresses, like my mom and I become so close, and like I've really realized my role with her is, like keep her laughing, keep her happy. And I really enjoy that. And so like, I don't know. I've dealt with so many fucking bummers and sucks and everything. And I just keep that stuff to myself, you know, because we all have friends that are like bummers all the time. It's just so draining, you know.
Do you find that, like, given the personality type that you have, those type of people will like try to kind of get their pincers in you?
Well, little. I mean, it's funny because I sometimes I just gotta like go away for a while because it is like a lot of. But I also have, you know, like, for better or worse, a savior complex where I'm like, you know, especially like being
Talk
sober,
to Papa.
dude. And if I'm sober and I'm around a lot of drunk people, I feel this weird innate like I got to make sure that these people are safe.
Nice. That's nice.
Because I'm afraid that something will happen and it's like on my watch or whatever.
Right.
And also I remember being such a fucking bad drunk.
Right. You
that,
know
like,
better.
I could have been better served if someone was like, hey, don't sleep on that street, you know? But it's
Don't sleep next to that guy.
Oh yeah. Dude, I used to pass out on the street and think like a pile of garbage was my mattress. And I'd wake up and my shoes would be placed right next to it because I would legit think it was my bed.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. I got a DUI one time. The cop, I was in the middle of a 4-lane highway. My right foot was on the brake. My left foot was out the window. The car was in drive. And the cop's on my window. And he goes, sir, do you know where you are? And I go, hey, how the hell did you get inside my apartment?
No
like I legit thought I was asleep.
Oh my
And it was
God.
right in front of a
That's
police
scary.
station. So he just like waltzed me right in.
It's right this way, sir.
And dude, a part of me wonders if subconsciously I was like, just catch me.
Right.
Please, you know?
Right. Catch me if you can.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Come on, Kyle.
Great airplane movie.
It's a good movie.
Great airplane. And I got to say to you, you know, thank you for your kind words and everything. I appreciate that. But you've really carved out a path for yourself.
Thank you, man.
And, you know, with your travel and going to these other countries and performing and taping and like, it's really fucking cool to see, like, actually take the reins and go, you know what, I'm going to go and fucking go here and live this experience. Because a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah, thanks, man.
You know?
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm glad.
I hope you recognize that because I've always admired that.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. I appreciate
And
it.
I'm not just sucking your dick.
No, it's very nice of you. I know. I appreciate it. Yeah. I want that. So I want people to think of that when they think about me. So
I'd be so scared, man, to like go to another country and just fucking live my life and fucking do like, dude, that is so fucking scary to me.
yeah, no, it's definitely intimidating, but yeah, I mean, one day I'm sure you'll have like some crazy gig somewhere, and it's a good like gateway drug into it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh wow, this is like, so just the idea that there's a lot more similarity than you think. I don't know.
Yeah, but I love adventures. When I go to different towns, I'm adventure guy. I'm activity guy. I love doing like me and a couple friends have started to do cultural Fridays.
I like that.
Where we
It's very
go
cute.
when I'm in town on Fridays, we go to different like cultural things in the city, and I love doing that. But I feel like I would be you have like a limited amount of things when you're in another town. But if you're in another country, it's like, how do you deal with every single cool thing that's available to you?
Totally. No, it's a good question. And I feel that anxiety too. And I get comfort knowing I will do things and they'll be great. I can't do every single thing. I won't do every single thing right.
Yeah.
But it'll be okay. If I'm in a place that's like not super approachable as a visitor, I hire somebody to show me around.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa. Where's that been?
Afghanistan.
You went to Afghanistan.
Yeah.
When?
2022. I went. I made a video. If you're feeling extra adventurous, throw that puppy on late night. But yeah, so like a place like that where they don't have tourist infrastructure and where you don't speak the language and they don't speak English, like, and to be honest, even a place where they do, I like having a person to like help me make the right decisions.
Yeah.
And like, dude, you'll get better footage.
You don't have a guy with you and you accidentally join the Taliban. You're just like, well, I'm here now. Dude, what
spend
if,
a lot of time
what if
with
you
the
just
Taliban.
Disappeared and everyone's like, dude, he's on the road. I guess he's like off the grid. And then we see a documentary that's like American Taliban.
Yes.
Giulio Gallerati.
Dude, yeah. Like,
You're the one that brings tennis to the fucking Afghans.
The Taliban playing tennis. I did see them playing volleyball, which was very weird. Yeah, dude.
Wow. Was that like one ball for all, volleyball, soccer, basketball?
So, well, it's funny.
Dodgeball?
No,
We
but
got to use it for everything.
yeah, right.
A
The
meal.
complex had volleyball and soccer, but no, it was not the same ball, and they were pretty good actually. At volleyball.
Did you see any Americans over there?
No,
No.
0.
Did they take you? Were you in like Kabul? Like
I was all over, but Kabul, I went to a bunch of different cities. Yeah, drove all around.
did they give you the skinny? Were they like, we hate Americans?
No.
Or were there still some that were like,
no,
we
they
love
don't hate
you?
Americans at all. They're like, we don't, they're like, you weren't like in the government making decisions. And there's people who actually like the Americans there. It's different than Iraq. Cause like the Americans there I think there are people who like prefer them to the Taliban. Now the Taliban
Yeah,
is
well,
the
we
government.
like helped them out with getting rid of
Yeah,
the Taliban, but they
right.
came back. But Iraq, it was like,
We just didn't need to be
Oh,
there.
shit.
We didn't
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
be there. Yeah. But yeah, man. Anyway, so drove all around, which you couldn't do before because before the Taliban were like patrolling outer city stuff. But then once they became the government, it actually became easier to travel around. Because
interesting.
there's no more war happening.
So are they like the good guys now?
They want to be. I don't agree with a lot of the policies, and I don't think most of the world does.
Brave stance.
No, I'm saying, but dude, like, you know, the women kind of being eliminated from society,
Yeah.
even though they think that that's a good thing. They're
Yeah.
not like, we hate women. They're like, we love women. So they don't,
Yeah.
they shouldn't have
So
to
we
do
keep
anything.
them away. Oh, whoa. They're like oddly progressive.
They think they're being chivalrous.
That's very funny.
They're just, they're way too backward of a group to
Yeah.
be in control of a country. But anyway, okay. I want one more question for you before we wrap it up. So it seems as if you have taken the genre of ska and put it on your back, dude. The only time I've heard about ska for the past decade has been because of you.
Ska.
And
my ring.
yeah, he's got the ska ring.
Yes.
You have these unique dance moves you do. And
Yes.
I'm like, these are very clearly ska
Yes.
moves.
Yes.
So I'm curious is there like walk me through what going to a ska show is like. Are you going to one anytime soon? Where are they? How well attended are they?
Well, I will tell you, it's interesting because ska is like something I've like ridden for so hard, but the ska community has embraced me and then turned their back on me.
Really?
Big time, yeah.
Why?
I still love ska, but I don't really fuck with ska shows anymore.
Interesting.
Because they're like, ska's become like a just a lightning rod for like ska's always been about diversity, which is great. Dude, I used to go to ska shows and there was anti-racist action. There was these like always tables with like pamphlets on like all this like cool shit to learn about. You know, my ethos and kind of ethic came from ska, punk rock, and hardcore. But now it's like everybody's invited to the table. Even if you have these crazy, wild opinions, like you'll go to a ska show today and almost everyone is still wearing a mask. And they're like, we have to because there's neurodivergent, disabled, and it's
interesting.
like, I got fired from a ska festival for making a trans joke, and on Twitter, and they like dogpiled me and like tried to dox me, and I was getting death threats and like all this shit. Yeah, and all these people that were fucking with me were like, you need to apologize, and I was like, what? It was like a dumb fucking joke, and I got fired from this thing, and it was like crazy. And like, I get it, I understand, but the ska community cannot take a joke, you know? And there needs to be gatekeepers, I think. When you allow everyone and you just massively accept everything, you're going to get some fucking Looney Tunes in there.
Right,
you know
right,
what I
right.
mean?
It becomes
there's gotta
oppressive
be
in its
some
own
people,
way.
you got to have almost people that like mock you so that you're like, oh, okay, I got to
Right.
you know?
You got to be able to laugh at yourself.
But
For some of us that don't know what ska is, can you just define what that is?
yeah, ska is a music usually with horns. It has upbeats, so it's instead of like da 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 da, it's like it's the guitar plays on the upbeat. Yeah.
The trumpet man.
Yeah,
would be
trumpet,
helpful.
trombone, saxophone. You know, it's music that just makes you feel like you know.
Is this a ska song? I've never had to knock on wood. That was it. It was pretty pervasive
Mighty
at that
Mighty
time.
Boss Tones.
Yeah.
Yes, one of the greatest ska bands of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, ska is a wonderful music. I defy you to listen and not smile, but it is kind of one note in the sense that, like, a lot of the ska bands that were huge in the 90s are basically making the same music, just like kind of there's no like weird growth or whatever.
You know like to the movement.
Yeah, it all kind of is in the same like wheelhouse of like, oh, okay, I know where this is going. Whereas like I'm super into punk rock and hardcore, and like hardcore music definitely evolves, and like some of my favorite bands have like their first record sounds nothing like their latest record, and I kind of dig that.
Which is hard to do gracefully too.
Yeah, totally. So like also I got into like punk rock and hardcore before ska. I was just in a ska band, and I think like because it's such a weird niche, when I talk about it, people are like, whoa, ska guy. But like I'm like still heavily involved in like the hardcore world and everything. And I go to those shows more than ska shows, because the dancing at those shows is like way more aggressive.
Yeah.
At
you're
ska
like
shows,
you're like bumping off of people.
Everyone's kind of like, respecting the space. But at hardcore shows, it's like you're signing a social contract going in that you may lose your teeth. You can knock someone out. It's the fucking best. It's just like violence everywhere. It is awesome. You swing, you fucking get your shit out. I love stage diving. You know, it's like, I know I'm like, happy, but I got a lot of anger inside me.
You ever catch one?
Good. Oh, dude, yes. Are you kidding me? I got fucking kicked in the teeth at fucking Brooklyn Monarch like a month or two ago.
Oh my God.
And I fucking, shout out Koyo, Long Island Hardcore. Fucking, I got kicked in the teeth. I stage dive, and then I was like standing there, and this guy did a front flip, and it just fucking knocked me. And I'm like, but my money makers, you know? Oh, no. So then I got out of the pit, and I just stood on stage, and I was pulling kids up to like stage dive and everything. So I went from like a dancer to a bouncer. But it's great, man. I don't know. If you ever want to go, I would love to, dude. There's something so freeing about like getting in the pit and losing your mind. You know?
Dude,
it's fucking awesome.
It sounds exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm potentially open to it.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
But I mean, ska is very upbeat and happy, you know. But I always like gravitated more towards more like aggressive ska. Like I've always liked aggressive music, like Metallica, Nirvana.
Right.
I was huge into Korn and like all this like.
You like a nice marriage of ska and hardcore principles.
Yeah, like Link 80 is a great example of that. But also at the same time, it's wild because not many comics are like come out of that area. Like so many comics I talk to about music, and they're like, no, I like rap. I'm like, I always felt like such a fraud listening to rap, you know? I don't know. It's like when you listen to rap, you have to be like a cosplayer. You know? It's like wild.
Speaking of Tom Cassidy, I always know.
Oh my God.
I always know he's good for a tweet about hip hop.
Yeah. Oh, don't get him started on Kendrick
about
and Drake.
Nas and Kendrick and Drake. Yeah.
We used to make fun of him so bad for his wanting to name his album Funny-matic.
Oh,
for
that's
Illmatic.
great.
And he did it. God bless him. He
Bless his
fucking did
heart.
it.
Bless his heart.
And he started doing that non-music music video thing. Just fucking sick. Taking your stand-up, your jokes, and making a music video, but instead of the music, you're doing your joke. Fucking, cool concept.
This is a Philly guy. Your whole group of Philly comics have all come and done quite well for themselves for the most part. It's pretty cool. Yeah. And something that should be sort of studied and mimicked because, you know, they came here from a place that was already comedy was popping there, and you're like, all right, let's go do the real thing. Yeah. You come here, and then there's a big group of them who are all doing really well. So.
Yeah. Brutal for years. Good God Almighty. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, it's a game of survival, bro.
Yeah.
Like
but it is cool to see those guys I started with fucking, we're all like doing our own thing, and we all came together, and then we all kind of branched off, and we're all still like buds and in each other's lives, but we're all carving our own paths. It's like really, really fucking cool. Actively trying to figure it out and eventually figuring it out. Yeah. Everybody. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. All right. Well, what do you got? Any tour dates coming up? Yeah, this I got comes a bunch out of stuff next week. So okay, cool. Yeah, I'm at Rooster T Feathers. The second weekend in June, I think June 6th to June 9th. I heard that's a great club. And Sunnyvale. Yeah, I'm excited to go. I just got back from LA, and at the airport, I ran into Colin Tyrell. Oh, yeah. And he came from Rooster T. I love a comic happenstance meetup at the airport. Yes, it's always so fun. It's the best. Dude, one time in Nimesh Patel, I saw him at the airport 7 a.m. And I ran up to him and was like, sir. And he was like, oh my God.
You did this to me, dude.
Oh, did I? Oh, yeah, on the street. That's my
fucker.
favorite. I
You
love
were
it.
there for that.
Yeah.
I love it. That's my favorite. Oh my God. I'm such a lone wolf and I wonder why. I'm like, I don't really have that many friends.
No.
Like I hang out with everyone, but I don't
love
have like
that.
a core, like strong. And I'm like, maybe it's because I'm alienating to everyone around
Dude,
me.
I actually felt, like complimented that you felt comfortable doing that to me.
Oh yeah. Dude, I went out of my way. I like threw money at the cab driver to get me out of the car. I go, stop. And I threw money at him like I had somewhere important to be. And it was to just scare you in the middle of the street.
You got me, dude. You got me. That was great.
But yeah, I got a bunch of dates, ianfidance.com or punchup.live/ianfidance. And my Instagram's ianimal, and the special's Wild, Happy, and Free on YouTube.
Fuck yeah. And catch me, and Lynch will be there too for this one. Laugh Boston, the 1st of June, 2 shows, and also Helium, Portland, the 19th of June.
That's going to be a blast.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, that'll be fun, man.
Good shit. Check out Ian, follow his stuff, watch his special. That's it. Goodbye.